deal. Hey, good. Hey guys, I'm Nick, and I'm super excited to share with you my 1988 Caprice Classic project. I've owned this car for about 8 years now, and it's gone through many phases of evolution. I've done work on the suspension, I've done work on the brakes, I've had a couple different engines in this. I have done just a little bit trying to clean up the interior, though that's not great right now. I've done all kinds of stuff to this car, and I'm super excited to be able to share it with you on YouTube and on social media and continue my journey with this car with you. At the moment, I've been working on an LS swap on this car. It desperately needs a lot of things. It needs a lot of paint and body work. It needs tuning. It needs to finish having the body put back together. It needs work in the interior. The paint's pretty hideous, but I've owned this car for a pretty long time now. I've done a lot of stuff to it. In the past, I've had a 350 in it. I had the original 305. I replaced the transmission that came with the car, and what I have in it right now that I've been working on is a LM7 out of a 2005 Tahoe. I bought the engine used with the transmission. I rebuilt the bottom end without taking the heads off. I put new main bearings and rod bearings in it, put a new oil pump in it. I put a stage 2 low lift cam in it. I'm running a Holley Terminator X-Max drive-by-wire setup on it. I've done my best. This is my first go around with a wire tuck, and it's not great, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Moving with me to the inside of the car, I've got the Holley Terminator. I've factory stereo, which feeds 212s in the trunk. I really like this locket steering column lock. It keeps people from popping the column open and stealing your car that way, like a lot of GM cars are really susceptible to. I've got some more wire cleanup I've got to do in here. I've got a lot of stuff. The carpet's in pretty rough shape, hard to get clean. The seats are in fair shape. The driver's seat's the worst. It's got a pretty nice back. You got Chewbacca and Boba Fett up there. They're part of the car now. I've done a lot to convert various lights in the car to LED. This car, I've gone through a bunch of variations of what I wanted to do with it, but overall it's consistently been a cruiser theme. And so currently what I'm working with is I'm trying to go with the theme of if GM built a CTS-V or a Chevy SS in the 1970s or 80s, what would that have looked like with the styling of that period? And obviously I'm not a purist. I'm happy to resto mod these cars. I want to keep it on the road, keep it enjoyable, keep it driving, keep it at its best use. And so I've done the LS swap, I've done a lot of electrical work, I've got it pretty nicely integrated with the factory body harness. Still have some work to do with speedometer and some other stuff relating to the gauges, but my goal is comfortable, fun, decent handling, and peppy. I'm not going for a race car or a straight line car. When I get done with this car, I think it's going to be a fun, daily drivable, reliable, young classic car that gets decent gas mileage and is generally unique in the current car community. Today's project is related to the transmission. Like I said, I bought the transmission and engine together, used on Facebook Marketplace, and unfortunately, I've discovered that the reason the Tahoe was being parted out was most likely because of the transmission. I believe that it has a bad forward sprag, and what that does is it causes drive and third gear not to work. It has reverse, it has first and second if you pull it down into low, but when you're in drive, the car doesn't go anywhere. To solve this, I have a Reman 4L60E. This is considered a stock replacement transmission. It's not a built transmission. It does have a few things upgraded. It's got a Corvette servo. It has the upgraded drum assembly. It's got the upgraded forward sprag. And these things aren't super high-end upgrades, but they should help keep this transmission alive longer under moderate performance driving. I thought before I got too far ahead of myself, I'd let you guys hear what this sounds like, how it runs, kind of where it's at. I'm not going to run it long because I don't want it to get too warm when I'm going to get under it, but I'll start it up and let it idle for just a minute. Almost. Not sure what this surging issue is. It's just started doing that recently. Seems to have straightened out a little bit. Man, am I sweating already. Got it up in the air. These big jack stands are pretty amazing. This is definitely the highest I've had it, giving it the shake test. Pushing pretty hard. It's not going anywhere. The front's like rock solid because we're on the frame. The back, we're on the rear axle. So the body moves a little bit, but the car's not going anywhere. I'm pushing on it real good. This is the part where we do what no man has done before. And we read the instructions. Got to make sure we don't void the warranty or do anything else unsavory. Fun stuff. There's my shirt. Well, I got the transmission pan off and back on with less mess than expected. Now time to pull the drive shaft. That's not good. It's not ideal. So here's where we're at. Got a mess all over the place. got the transmission cross member pushed back as far as it'll go without taking the exhaust off. I'm hoping it's far enough if I angle the transmission right. I've got a jack supporting the engine. I may have to get a ratchet strap under here and support the engine with that. I've got about half the bolts between the flex plate, not between the flex plate, between the bell housing and the engine disconnected or removed, however you want to say it. So I got like 4 more bolts to pull, and then the transmission will be completely loose from the engine. I can start trying to finagle it out of here. Alright, that was a lot of work. Pulling these out from behind the engine. It's a lot of work. Had to do them by hand because I couldn't fit a deep socket in there. I think before it goes back together, I'm going to run to the auto parts store and get some of these that don't have this stud sticking out of them. Then I'll be able to use a short socket and a shallow socket and use the air ratchet to put it back together. Make things a lot easier. Alright, back from the auto parts store. Had to get a few things. The new transmission did not come with a dipstick tube grommet, so had to get one of those. Needed more Loctite. These bolts are going to be a lot easier to install between the transmission and the engine with the air ratchet. And let's get to it. I just got the transmission back under the car. It was what may have been the sketchiest operation ever. I had it jacked up using all those wood blocks. The car was literally this high in the air. You'll see it on the B-roll where you just saw it. And it was scary, but it's under there. So now I can start putting it back together. And I repeated the shake test. Car's super solid. I think we're gonna have to bring it. No, maybe not. We just need to bring it forward. Okay. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. That was good. On that side.
Yeah, on this side too. It just doesn't want to move. Sorry. Oh, there it goes. Close. How close are you on that side?
Very close.
Is it too high or too low?
It's too low.
Now I'm just like too low. So. The other GoPro died as we were trying to get the transmission up where it goes, and we didn't realize it, but Parker came over, helped me out. Transmission's in there, cross members in there, Still got some stuff to do on this exhaust, and where the flex plate meets the torque converter, we got to put those bolts in. We got to get the starter back in, kind of button it up, but it shouldn't take us more than about another hour.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Then get it down on the ground and start it and hope that we have all the gears.
Pray. I believe.
Shout out to Parker for helping me out and loaning me stuff.
Yeah, that's my job.
All right, Parker and I put a ton of work in. I have transmission fluid in my hair, and I'm just generally filthy. And it's the moment of truth. We just checked the fluid level. We're gonna start it up and see if we have all the drive gears. All right, we got Parker in position. And here we go. Say what? All right. I'm putting it in reverse. Okay. Reverse works. That's drive. Are we moving? Go. We're in business. This transmission works.
Hey, good shit.
Let's let it run just a minute and check for leaks. We'll check the level again. But this transmission works. We are in business. Hell yeah. All right, guys, we are done for the day. It's been like 10 hours for me. It's been like 3 hours for Parker, 4 hours, something like that.
What time of year?
And
4 hours. Holy shit.
John's been here for like 25 minutes, just kind of watched us get it down on the ground, helped get it down on the ground. And it's done.